Good morning. Buenos dias. I know a little more Spanish. ¿Dónde está la cerveza? That's another one. Coming to you live from Vero Beach, Florida. It's the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Vero Beach. Welcome to everyone watching Zoom. My name is Paul Amaru. I am a white senior citizen with gray curly hair and glasses. I answer to the pronouns he, him, his, hey you, that's another one I answer to. And I'm wearing a blue plaid shirt. I serve our congregation this morning as pulpit host for Reverend Dr. Roger Ray. Reverend Roger came to us in October of 2023 after his retirement from ministry in Missouri, the Show Me State. He is a Commodore. That's something that just went over everyone's head. Having a Master of Divinity and Doctor of Ministry degrees from Vanderbilt, known as the Commodores. Never mind. We welcome you in the fullness of your age, your race, ethnicity, the way of being in body and mind, your gender expression, sexual orientation, religious background, whether you have a PhD, a GED, or no D at all. May you know that here, each of you contribute in your own way to the beauty of the whole. We hope you will join us for coffee and fellowship after the service in Fellowship Hall. If you are new to our fellowship, please take a red mug so we may greet you warmly while you drink our fair trade coffee and tea. I want to highlight our upcoming participation in the Martin Luther King Jr. Parade, the celebration and the parade. This is an opportunity for us, UUs, as a fellowship, to honor Dr. King's legacy and to visibly live our UU values. I encourage you to participate. Look for details in Fellowship Hall, and there is something in your order of service. Now, would you please take a moment to welcome one another with a smile, a fist bump, and remind ourselves, am I doing something out of order? No. And a fist bump to remind ourselves that we are one family in fellowship. As Paul McCartney said, someone's knocking at the door. Someone is ringing the bell. Let us come back together and turn our hearts and minds back to worship. Now, our wonderful choir, and I mean wonderful choir, will sing our introit.
The night is dark and deep. His babies are asleep. must creep over all. His lovely sleeping bride can't be always at his side. Wherever he may ride over all. Does he really have to go? Does the Bible tell him so? There's another reason he knows over all. 'Cause he knows what's right and wrong, and the people hear his song, and a preacher heeds the call over all, over all, over all. Cowardice asks the question, is it safe? Expediency asks the question, is it polite? Vanity asks the question, is it all right? And there comes a point where you must take a position that is neither safe, nor polite, nor comfortable. But you must take it, 'cause your conscience tells you it's right.
It is tradition within Unitarian churches to light a chalice as we begin. I will invite you to recite along with me. I am only one, but still I am one. I cannot do everything, but still I can do something. And because I cannot do everything, I will not refuse to do the something I can do.
Our opening hymn today is number 404, What Gift Can We Bring? Kind of appropriate for Stewardship Sunday. We're doing verses 1 and 3. Before that, I'm going to take a liberty. I meant to tell Paul, I did get cleared by Rev Tom. Sign up for Women's Retreat is in the lobby. Retreat is March 9th. It's a full day, 9 to 4. The topic is Path to Crone, $35. Vanessa Wishstar will be sitting out at the table. Rise as you are willing and able.
Several years ago, when things were looking kind of bleak in America, my associate minister has a wife in education, and she is just brilliant. And she came to me with the idea of writing a children's book about what would actually make America great. And of course, publishing books was something that we did regularly, but she had pretty high standards. She wanted every page to be illustrated by an artist who was affected by the issue that she was addressing on that page, whether it was the lack of availability of health insurance or the mistreatment of the disabled or immigrants or whatever. So she found a different illustrator for every page and insisted that I pay them union wage. So God bless her. But I have some extra copies of the book. If you've got young children in your home, Hui's got them. Hui is easy to identify. She is both the shortest member of this church and the only Asian in the building. So if you would like to get a free copy, oh, sorry, Dao, I have a Vietnamese friend here as well. So they're not sisters. They're not even from the same country. So don't be too white when you talk to them, okay? Next slide. America will be great when all people feel safe, no matter the color of their skin, no matter where they were born, no matter who they love, and no matter where they do or do not worship. America will be great when every person has a safe place to sleep at night and enough food to eat each day. America will be great when every person can go to the doctor and get the medicine and care they need when they are sick. America will be great when all people can get the education they need to do the work that they love. America will be great when acceptance, understanding, and love are the expectation for handling disagreements and differences. America will be great when we value all people more than money or power. America will be great when we see ability, value, and worth in all people. America will be great when we welcome those from other places, recognizing that we have much to learn from each other and the possibility of creating a bright future together. America will be great when we value peace and love equally for all people in all the world. And America will be great. Well, okay, we're a little out of sync. America will be great when we care about the planet and work to keep our lands, water, air, and habitants clean and safe for all that live there. America will be great when we, the people, unite to make it so. May it be so.
Let's sing our children out.
As you journey, may you know, love and hope go with you, love and hope go with you, learn and grow, learn and grow.
We have this ritual in our congregation in which we place a stone in this water as a sign of prayer. But I want to say something. I have friends here that have followed my career for more than 40 years now, so I can't disappoint them by not quoting Soren Kierkegaard once in the service. Kierkegaard said that when you pray, you do not change the one to whom you pray. You change the one who prays. To make a gesture like this, thinking of someone who's sick, or going through a divorce, or unemployment, or depression, or some great challenge, or to celebrate a great joy, it should be more than thinking that dropping the stone in the water is the act. it changes you. It changes how you treat those people, how you act towards those people. Alexander Campbell, 18th or 19th century evangelist in America, said to kneel and pray for something that you will not stand and work for is an insult to God and a disappointment to yourselves. And so we engage in this every week. I'm going to add a little salt to the water, reflecting the fact that we often have tears in the days of our lives, but also add some flowers, because we have a lot of good things to be thankful for as well. I'll invite you to come and put a stone in the water if you wish, but if you don't want to come yourself, I'm happy to put one in for you, if you'll just raise your hand. Come down, if you will.
Now let us sing our children out to their classes? No, we're not going to sing them out to their classes. You did that already. That's what happens when you cut class. You don't know what the instructor did. Okay. Now, I'm supposed to say a few words. The offer, no, this comes first. This I know, what I'm doing first. Okay, I'm supposed to say a few words. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here, oh, wrong thing. Here we are. I've been asked to give a 2 to 3 minute presentation on why I'm a member of over 23 years and continue to pledge. "23 years I've been here, which means two things. First, I really like it here. And second, I've officially stayed long enough to complain about the comfort of the pews, the unusual Zoom presentations, and the air conditioning. I can complain with authority. I first came to UU because I was looking for a place I could be spiritual without having all the answers. I wanted a community where asking questions was a spiritual sport. I knew I found the right place when no one told me what to believe, only that I should keep thinking, keep caring, and maybe read a book or two. I've been moved by sermons that made me think and music that affected me deeply. I continue to pledge because this congregation does important work. We nurture and support one another. We show up for justice, and we try, somewhat awkwardly, but sincerely, to build a more loving world. And none of that happens by accident. It happens because we because we decide that this place is worth supporting. My pledge isn't just about keeping the lights on, although I do enjoy being able to see. It's about sustaining a community where you can believe many things, doubt many things, and still fully belong. After 23 years, I'm still here because this congregation continues to challenge me, comfort me, and occasionally test my patience, which is good for my spiritual growth. That's why I continue to pledge with gratitude, with commitment, and hope. This is my blue boat home. Thank you. Now, ladies and germs, we will collect the offering. Today, our offering goes to Bike Walk of Indian River County. All the undesignated offerings in the basket will go to Bike Walk Indian River County. If you wish to pledge to the congregation, please use the white envelope which is in front of you in the pew slot, as all loose change will go to Bike Walk of Indian River County. This morning's offerings are now gratefully received. Thank you. For these gifts, we thank you. A short meditation. Let us pause and become still. Feel the steadiness of the ground beneath you, like the earth holding all life. Notice your breath, rising and falling as naturally as waves on a shore, as effortlessly as wind moving through the trees. Around us and within us, life is always in motion. Seeds opening, seasons turning, rivers finding their way. May we remember that we too belong to this living world, not separate from it, but part of it, balance and beauty. Let us rest here for a few quiet breaths, rooted like trees, like open sky, connected to all that is. And now the choir.
I think you guys are going to remember this song.
Give a little bit, give a little bit of your love to me. I'll give a little bit, I'll give a little bit of my love to you. There's so much that we need to share, so send a smile and show you care. I'll give a little bit, I'll give a little bit of my life to you. Give a little bit, give a little bit of your time to me. See the man with the
For the opportunity to speak here today. Last time I spoke, my wife, who has only been here in the United States for about 6 months, but she has a degree in English. She's pretty good at English. But she had posted on Facebook that her husband was the Pope in church today. And I started to correct her, but I felt like that recognition was long overdue. So, but I think you got it right today, didn't you, babe? Just preaching, right? I want to talk with you this morning about a very peculiar miracle story in the Christian Gospel of Matthew in the 17th chapter. There are lots of miracles attributed to Jesus, not the least of which was being born of a virgin and then rising from the dead. But we find accounts in the Gospels of Jesus doing all kinds of miraculous things, raising Lazarus from the dead, raising the widow of Nain's son, feeding multitudes with a small amount of food twice. There was a miraculous catch of fish, even walking on water. He's said to have healed people of blindness, of being unable to walk, even casting out demons. Once he cast a demon into a whole herd of pigs, and the pigs just ran down the hill and jumped in the sea. A truly kosher miracle. Now, we might be kind of skeptical about all of those. But there's one miracle attributed to Jesus in Matthew 17 that is so odd that virtually no one ever talks about it. It's never read in church if the preacher in the Methodist or Episcopal or Lutheran or Disciple Church is following the common lectionary. It never shows up because it's kind of embarrassing. I dare say that even some of the retired clergy here today wouldn't even remember it. It goes like this. Jesus and the disciples were entering Capernaum, where they basically lived in Peter's house. And the tax collectors asked Peter if Jesus intended to pay the temple tax, which is how they supported the temple in Jerusalem, you know, keeping the roof fixed, paying for the cleanup after they sacrificed all those lambs, and providing a living for the priest. Jesus initially objects, saying that as the Son of God, he shouldn't have to pay to keep God's house up. But then he thinks better of it and says that rather than offend anyone, he sends Peter to throw a fishing line in the sea and tells him that the first fish he catches, that he will find a coin in its mouth and to use that coin to pay their temple tax. I can certainly understand why Jesus would raise a dead friend, or feed thousands of hungry people, or heal a profoundly disabled person. But catching a fish with money in its mouth, that's just showing off. But as ridiculous as it seems, it struck me as being the perfect miracle for a stewardship message, because even as absurd as it is on the face of it, it comes pretty close to the way a lot of people think about their pledge to the church, or that they would rather not think about it at all. They may know that it takes a lot of donated money to keep up the building, to clean and air condition the building, to pay the staff, to put on the programs we offer. But when it comes right down to making a realistic donation, a lot of us would just rather not. And if we don't pledge, if we don't donate, somehow the bills still get paid, don't they? You may even know that in the past 2 years, our donations have fallen short of what is a pretty Spartan budget, and this year's not looking so hot either. Should we just send Reverend Tom out fishing more often? Finding those miraculous fish with gold in their mouths? I've had to raise money every year of my adult life to support the church where I worked until I finally retired. And it was always uncomfortable for me. When your salary is one of the biggest items in the church budget, you can be made to feel like you're begging for your own paycheck. People will point at the fabulously wealthy, overly slick, tanned and toned mega church preachers and try to tar us all with that brush of hypocrisy and greed, as if we all were fabulously wealthy, when in fact most members of clergy in the United States qualify for food stamps and public assistance. And still we tell ourselves all the church ever wants is more of our money. We avoid responsibility by implying that we are virtuous and the church is greedy. But I never hear anyone complaining about the shoe store making you pay for shoes, or restaurants charging you for your pizza. We don't think that the house painter or the auto mechanic is a hypocrite because they expect to be paid. But none of you let them decide, or none of them let you decide whether you're going to pay them or not, or how much you're going to pay them. If a restaurant lets you just pay what you felt like paying, would they stay in business very long? And yet, that's what we do. I get tired of being asked for money, especially in front of the grocery store. I've been clean and sober for several weeks now on a hard diet trying to lose weight, and darned if my dealer wasn't there selling Girl Scout cookies yesterday. McDonald's has the temerity to ask me to support the Ronald McDonald House when I'm pretty sure that Ronald McDonald has got more money than I've got. And I sometimes get all full of conviction. I get tempted and I will send some money to support a political campaign for someone who is running against someone I absolutely cannot stand. And then I get hundreds of requests from other politicians every single day. It is tiresome. Most of the time, I would just rather not. Why can't St. Jude's Hospital just go fishing? St. Jude is supposed to be the patron saint of miracles. So get busy. Catch some fish with gold in its mouth. I'm retired. I don't make a third of what I used to be paid. I have to be careful with my money. And yet, as you can tell, I never fail to buy groceries. I got here today because I keep buying gas for my car. If my roof leaks, I get it fixed. If my house needs to be painted, or even if it doesn't need to be painted and my doggone neighborhood association says it should be painted, I get it painted. We still go on vacations, which seems odd since I no longer have to go to the office and I already live in paradise. But you all know what it's like. We still go on vacation. So, do I believe in paying the temple tax? Unlike Jesus, I accept the fact that it takes donations to keep the kind of church where I will go afloat. Other kinds of churches have a carrot and a stick to offer. Some stewardship sermons in churches boil down to give or burn for eternity. We don't do that. We don't threaten people with judgment, and we don't promise you eternal rewards. We just keep doing what my favorite musician, Bruce Cockburn, said in Lovers in a Dangerous Time. We keep kicking at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. That's what we do. There is no sense among Unitarians that God expects you to tithe, or that what you put in the collection basket will have some impact on you after you die. We don't go in for magical thinking here. We're just trying to do the right thing, kicking at the darkness until it bleeds daylight. There's a fabulous story about John Wooden, the longtime UCLA basketball head coach, who was known to always pick up the dirty towels that were on the floor when he walked through the locker room. That's leading by example, and it did inspire the players to be more aware of the cleaning staff and to put their trash in the trash can and their towels in the hamper. But I wonder about this habit before it becomes leading by example. Was Wooden picking up towels because he was the head coach? Or maybe, just maybe, he was the head coach because he's the kind of guy that picks up dirty towels in the locker room. He was the kind of person who didn't leave it for someone else to do it. Sure, they'd get picked up anyway. They didn't pay Wooden to pick up the towels. But that isn't the point. Wooden was the kind of guy who wouldn't just leave a menial sacrifice to other people. No excuses. No sense of being too good to bend over and pick up a towel. He just did it. I like to think, not to set an example, but because it needed to be done. And he wanted to be the kind of person who does what needs to be done. You see it every time you go to Publix. In the parking lot, there are collection spots for shopping carts, but then there's always a bunch of loose shopping carts left all over the place, carelessly left for someone else to retrieve or to scratch your car when you're trying to park. Am I the kind of person that pushes my cart deeper into the parking lot and looks the other way? Or am I the kind of person who's considerate of the next person that's going to park? Or even considerate of the man who's way past retirement age that Publix is going to send out in the rain to go gather up all of the carts? Like most Unitarians, I'm not afraid of going to hell because I don't believe there's a hell. That is, I don't believe it exists, but that doesn't mean it's not a damn good idea. Ancient Persian slaves, Zoroastrians, invented the concept of an afterlife lake of fire, and for them it was mostly slave owners who were going to go there when they died. But post-exilic Jews and early Christians sharpened the idea to make it a very useful concept that any bad person or someone they didn't like was going to go there. Before she was governor of Texas, Ann Richards was a county commissioner, and she told a story about a problem that one of her constituents, Barbara, had with a neighbor. Barbara was a black lady who owned land out in the country, and she was building a house on it, but you had to drive down about a half mile of a country lane to get to it. And there was an old woman that lived along the lane that didn't want Barbara to build a house near her, so she put up a gate and put a padlock on it. And it took many calls to Ann Richards and some legal gyrations to finally get that gate taken down. So years later, Ann ran into Barbara at a Democratic Party meeting, and she said, "Is that old lady still giving you any trouble?" And she said in the voice of the Lord, "Oh, Ann, that old woman, she done died and gone to hell." You see how useful that can be? I mean, it's not real, but isn't it kind of satisfying to think about it sometimes? Just because Unitarians don't believe there's a hell doesn't mean that we don't know some folks that kind of deserve to go there. Maybe I shouldn't bring it up, but I don't even want to think about those people. But more importantly, I don't want to be one of those people that other people think I kind of ought to go there. I want to work hard to be a better person than that. Being the better person is its own reward. We go to a church where we can say honestly that love is our religion, where our service to others is the way we pray. There's an African proverb that says, when you pray, move your feet. And I hope you'll all put on your pink t-shirts tomorrow and come out and march with us in the Martin Luther King parade, because when we pray, we are doing something about it. We encourage one another to be more compassionate, more forgiving, so we can create a better world. And out of the values we teach, that's where world leaders come from. That's where the next generation of diplomats and courageous politicians will come. Like many of you, I've never had the flu. But I get a flu shot every year because I know by protecting myself from the flu, I won't accidentally pass the virus along to someone that it might kill. I'm not scared of getting COVID, but I am scared of passing COVID along to someone who has good reason to be afraid of it. So I keep my inoculations up to date. Do I believe in paying the temple tax? Yes, I do. Because I don't want someone else to pay it for me. And I don't want Tom to have to keep going fishing. It doesn't work anyway. I mean, it works in the Bible, but you know, there's some stuff in the Bible that you got to take with a grain of salt. I don't pay my temple tax because I'm trying to stay out of hell. I pay it because I don't want to be the kind of person who deserves to be thought of that way. Now, I can sense that Reverend Tom is timid about asking for donations, and it's true. It's where his salary comes from. But folks, I need to tell you existentially, he earns it. Don't ever think that he's being overpaid. I know a thing or two about this in my 42 years of experience, and I can tell you honestly, I wouldn't do his job for what you pay him. He earns every penny of his income. But when you don't feel like being a part of what it takes to run this place, including the staff, it's like telling them to go fish for a little bit of change. It's like accusing them of hypocrisy. And you all know that dog don't hunt. What it takes to run our church doesn't come by magic or miracles. It comes through individuals deciding to do the right thing. Whatever the right thing is for you, and I'm not telling you what that is. We're not a shoe store. You can participate in every part of this church's life without ever donating at all, which apparently a number of folks do. But if everyone did that, there would be no minister, there would be no building, no organizing of social justice work, and no nurturing of the next generation's leaders. We collect useful items and money to support a lot of good causes in our area. But folks, none of those nonprofits are out there collecting money for us. No one supports us but us. In my previous career, I took 1 week off every month to go and speak at other UU churches around the country and liberal Methodist churches in Great Britain. But many of those churches where I used to go to speak every year no longer exist. They have gotten down to the point of barely meeting, and they don't have a minister. I still preach in some churches in Florida that don't have a minister and just barely can get together and make a pot of coffee. This church is one of the stronger and more healthy congregations of Unitarians, and as such, it is vital that we decide that we are here to stay, both for ourselves and for others, and for the causes that we support, because this is the kind of congregation that the future depends upon. On this Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, I want to remind you that King was not just a social activist. He was a pastor, he was a minister, and he rooted the civil rights movement in churches. Unitarians were not only instrumental in the civil rights movement, working with Dr. King, but Reverend James Reeb, a UU minister, was actually murdered while participating in the march from Selma for voting rights. Where does that level of conviction come from? Where does that kind of courage and leadership take root? Men and women, I'm pleading with you to see that most great civil rights changes found their footing, found the nurturing of the ideas, their encouragement to be involved in churches, churches like ours. Without churches, would Martin Luther King Jr. have ever had an audience? Without his pulpit, would we have ever heard his voice? I suspect that most of you know, but if you don't, his first church after he earned his PhD at Boston University was Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And it had a vacant pulpit because they had fired the minister they had before, Vernon Johns. And they fired Vernon Johns for talking about politics. Then they hired Martin Luther King. And King had assured them that he wasn't going to talk about politics. He was a Bible scholar. He knew a lot about it, and he was going to teach Bible. But circumstances change. The Montgomery bus strike started when King was just called from home. He didn't even go to the meeting to discuss the bus strike, but he got called from his home because the other big church pastors were so competitive with each other, they wanted someone that wouldn't threaten them to take charge of the bus strike. So they got Martin Luther King out of his living room and to the meeting. And the rest, as they say, is history. Because if you've been nurtured in a church that teaches you about social justice, that teaches you compassion, that gives you courage, when the moment happens, a prophet can stand up. And without the years of attending church and doing church stuff, the prophet would have never been born in Martin Luther King's heart. I'm not here today to ask you to support a church budget, or to pay Tom's salary, or to fix a leaking roof. I'm asking you to be the kind of person who doesn't watch from the sidelines and hope that someone else will do your job for you. I'm asking you to get some skin in the game, to get off the bleachers and get out on the field and do your part to make sure that this church and churches like ours continue to exist, to teach, to inspire the next generation and the generations that will come when we are all ashes in the flower garden out front. Please don't let yourselves think that your money is just too precious to donate what you can do to help us stay here. Don't ask Rev Tom to go fishing in a magical lake and just come up with what it takes to help us survive. In your bulletin today, there is a stair-step graph that shows how many families we have in this congregation and what our giving history has been. And of course, you can't look at that without looking for where you are on the stair-step chart. I'm not asking anyone to do what they cannot do or what they should not do, but I am asking you to do what you can do, and only you know what that is. If you currently give less than $500 a year, could you go up a step or two? If you do, realistically, would it hurt you? Would you have to start clipping pizza coupons? Or would you probably be okay? There are causes and candidates that I like to support. There are a lot of things I believe in that I want to donate to. But folks, no one donates to this church but the people who put their butts in the pews. And I want to make sure that these doors stay open and that our congregation continues to be a vital fellowship. In closing, let me share with you that 22 years ago, it was my honor to meet Holocaust survivor and Nobel Peace Prize winner Elie Wiesel. I was a fellow at Harvard, and so I had a chance to have a private conversation with Elie Wiesel. And it was in the early days of the war in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I asked him if he was afraid that we might fall back into the kind of time where prejudices led to another Holocaust. And he reminded me of what he had said in his Nobel Peace Prize acceptance speech. He said that the only reason the Holocaust happened was because people sat back and watched. And so you distill the wisdom of the Hebrew Scriptures down to a single sentence: thou shalt not stand idly by. The only thing that endangers our civilization is the people that will watch evil just happen. And if we were doing a good enough job of teaching character and virtue and values, would we have this administration in office right now? I've already been fired once for preaching about politics, so if that bothers you, I'm going to be nothing but a set of taillights here in just a few minutes. But he reminded me that the issue is to be sure that we are involved, to be sure that we don't just watch it happen. None of us have been called to be a spectator in the great battle for virtue in our society. You kick at the darkness, not through symbolic acts or expressing strong opinions. You know, posting on Facebook doesn't change the world. You cannot stand idly by. Please, my friends, get some skin in the game. And if you've already got skin in the game, could you go a little deeper? Invest a little more of yourself to help us to fulfill our mission as a light in a dark place, a voice crying in the wilderness. I want to thank all of you for giving. I want to thank all of you for your donations. I want to thank you for attending, for participating, for volunteering. And I sincerely want to thank you for giving me a chance to speak from my heart.
Please join us in our closing hymn, number 134, Our World is One World, verses 2, 3, and 4. Rise as you are willing and able.
Our world is one world. The thoughts we think affect us all. The way we build our attitudes with love or hate we make a bridge or wall. Our world is one world. Its ways of wealth affect us all. The way we spend, the way we share, who are the rich or poor, who stand or fall. Our world is one world, just like a ship that bears us all, where fear and greed make many holes, but where our hearts can hear a different call.
Men and women, you are the light of the world. You're the salt of the earth. You have a job to do, and now let's go do it.